She got dressed up, drove to a restaurant, and sat alone at a table for two on Christmas Eve. And the person she was waiting for never showed up. But what happened next changed everything. This is the story of Harper, a woman who thought she was going to spend Christmas Eve having dinner with a stranger who might become something more. Instead, she ended up having the most important night of her life with a little girl she had never met before, and a man she never expected to fall for. Stay with me, because this story is going to hit you right in the chest. It was December 24th, Christmas Eve, the kind of night where the whole world feels warm and full, except for Harper. Harper was 32. She worked long hours at a graphic design firm. She had a small apartment, a cat named Fig, and a love life that could only be described as a series of unfortunate events. Her friends had set her up on a blind date. A guy named Marcus, tall, funny, worked in finance, apparently had great taste in food. On paper, perfect. She had picked out her outfit 3 days in advance. A cream off-shoulder sweater, dark jeans, her favorite earrings. She had even practiced what she would say when he walked in. She got to the restaurant at 7 p.m. exactly, asked for the reservation under his name, got seated at a small table near the window, where you could see the snow falling gently outside and the Christmas lights blinking. On the trees along the street, she ordered water, checked her phone, smiled at the waiter when he came to ask if she was ready to order. Just waiting for someone, she said. 7:15 came. Nothing. 7:30, she texted Marcus. No reply. 7:45, she called. Straight to voicemail. By 8 p.m., Harper knew he wasn't coming. She didn't know why. She didn't get an explanation that night, or ever, really. He just didn't show up. On Christmas Eve, when she had gotten dressed up, driven across town, and sat alone at a table for two for a full hour, she picked up her menu, not because she was hungry, but because she didn't want to cry in public, and staring at the list of pasta dishes felt like a safer option than looking around at all the happy couples and families having the night she thought she was going to have. And then something happened. She felt the chair next to her move. She looked up from her menu, expecting to see a waiter pulling the chair away to make room for another table. But instead she saw a tiny hand gripping the edge of the seat, and then a little face appeared. Brown, curly hair, big dark eyes, pink dress, the kind of cheeks you just want to squeeze. The little girl, who couldn't have been more than 4 years old, looked at Harper very seriously and said, "Is someone sitting here?" Harper blinked. "No," she said. "No one's sitting there." The little girl nodded like this was very important information, climbed up onto the chair and sat down. Just like that, Harper looked around the restaurant. She expected to see a panicked parent rushing over, apologizing, scooping the child up. But nobody came. Not immediately. The little girl just sat there, picked up the extra menu on the table, and pretended to read it, even though she was clearly too young to read. Harper didn't know what to do, so she said, "What are you going to order?" The little girl didn't look up from her menu. "Pasta," she said very confidently. "The one with the red stuff." Harper laughed. A real laugh. The first one of the night. "Good choice," Harper said. The little girl finally put the menu down and looked at her. "You look sad," she said. Just like that, no filter, the way only little kids can say things. Harper felt something crack open in her chest. "I'm okay," she said. The little girl tilted her head. "My daddy looks like that sometimes too, after my mommy went away." Harper didn't say anything for a second. She just looked at this tiny person who had climbed into the chair next to her and said the most honest thing anyone had said to her all year. "What's your name?" Harper asked. "Lily," the little girl said. "What's yours?" "Harper." Lily seemed to think about this. "That's a pretty name," she decided, and that's when a man appeared at the edge of the table, slightly out of breath, clearly having just run across the restaurant, a look on his face that was equal parts embarrassed and relieved. "Lily, oh my God, I am so sorry." He looked at Harper with wide eyes. I turned around for 2 seconds. "She's fine," Harper said, smiling. "She was just helping me pick out pasta." The man, Aaron, had let out a breath. He ran a hand through his hair. He had kind eyes, tired eyes, the kind that come from doing everything alone for too long. He was wearing a slightly wrinkled, button-down shirt, and he had a small smear of what looked like ketchup on his sleeve, which he clearly hadn't noticed yet. "I'm so sorry," he said again. "She does this. She just walks up to people like she's known them her whole life." "Daddy, she was sad," Lily said in a very matter-of-fact tone. "I was helping." Aaron looked at Harper. Harper looked at Aaron. Neither of them said anything for a moment. "Was she?" Aaron said quietly. Harper looked down at the table. "A little bit," she admitted. Aaron hesitated. His table was across the restaurant. A table for two, just him and Lily, with a half-eaten breadstick on a plate and a sippy cup of apple juice. He looked at it, then back at Harper. And then he said the most nervous, stumbling, genuine thing. We have a lot of breadsticks at our table. If you wanted to, you don't have to. That was weird, I'm sorry. Forget I said, yes, Harper said. He blinked. Yeah? Yeah. Lily immediately hopped off the chair. Come on, she said, grabbing Harper's hand like it was the most natural thing in the world. That night, Harper had dinner with a single father named Aaron and his 4-year-old daughter, Lily, who had lost her mother 18 months earlier and who had apparently inherited her father's complete inability to let sad strangers sit alone. They talked for 2.5 hours. Aaron told her about his wife, Elena, who had passed away from a sudden illness, and how he'd been trying to figure out how to give Lily a good Christmas while also holding himself together. Harper told him about Marcus and the cream sweater and the hour she'd spent staring at a pasta menu. Aaron winced. Lily, who had fallen asleep against Harper's arm by 9:30, did not comment. When the restaurant started to close, Aaron carried Lily to the car. He came back for her jacket, which she'd left on the chair. And before he left, he stood there for a second and said, I know this is a lot to say to someone I just met, but tonight was the first night in a long time that didn't feel heavy, so thank you. Harper didn't say anything back. She just nodded. Because sometimes things don't need words. He asked for her number. She gave it to him. They went on their first proper date 3 weeks later. Lily asked to come. They let her. Here's the thing about this story that stays with me. Harper didn't get what she planned for that night. She got stood up. She sat alone at a table. She was embarrassed and heartbroken and ready to go home and pretend. Christmas didn't exist, but she stayed. She didn't leave when Marcus didn't show. She sat there, ordered water, and she stayed. And because she stayed, a little girl climbed into the chair beside her. We spend so much time thinking that the good stuff comes when everything goes right. But sometimes the best things in your life walk in through the door that disappointment left open. Harper didn't find love because her blind date went perfectly. She found it because it fell apart completely. And she was still there, at the table, when something better came along. Sometimes the wrong person not showing up is the whole point. If this story got you, the next one on your screen is going to hit even harder. Go watch it.